I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die, yeah. Did it die. Did it die. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die?
Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
No.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
Won't die.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict. I'm a lowlife, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting, don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored, careful what you wishing for.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
No.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
Won't die.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
Wait.
Did it die?
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
When it hurts like this, we climb the greatest heights, jump down and have a fight. And that's all we'll ever like, but that can never change my mind. When it's good, it's amazing. When it's bad, it's uneasy. I
I've been chilling, watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I
jednak trochę później ten zacząć tego streama. Teraz najprawdopodobniej wszyscy są u May albo Fryty. Cisko też streamuje teraz. Tak, trochę lipa. No dobra. Jeszcze sobie znowu zagramy, ale teraz są w co innego. Au! Yeah. Wait. Okay. Wywołanie, ustawienie dźwięku. Dobra. Tam trochę niżej wszystko. Ustawienia. Pult. Też trochę cisza. Dobra. Jeszcze tutaj zaktualizuję. Realizuj. Dobra. Trochę mi to zajęło. Ups.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
No to skończyłem jeden świat, a nie miałem dostępu do wielu pokoi. No.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Well,
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
pogrzebowo nie sumiała.
In her will, my mother.
Oj.
mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Jest ścieżką. Tak dziwnie tnie tam na podglądzie.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Nieźle. Gigantyczna chałupa.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Jak na przykład do z tego dziwnego wujka.
I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Dobra. Missing.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
No.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
To jedziemy od drugiej strony. O! Taki wieczny.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Czemu dąd się pada? Jak się jest małą, to wszystko jest trochę łatwiej. Nie? No jak czowate. Samochód.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Wszędzie butelki po winie i innych alkoholach. No, no jak w domu.
Family, there were just memories of one.
Jest w kurzu.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
No trochę tych puszek ten nas miał.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Niam. Eli, dziadek.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Na telewizor. Na, na książkach. Ewidentnie Dzięki lubi obrazy książki. Kupiłem
Grandpa's
pozytywkę.
friend built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Mhm.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
No. Jak mi przykro. Co ty poczekaj, chcieli zamknąć?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Fajne dzieciństwo miałaś. O, zobaczmy, co jest na tym, na dole. No szybciej. Wiem, że jesteś kuźwa w ciąży, ale to nie oznacza, że masz iść tak wolno.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Jest to biblioteka. No trochę kuźwa mała, patrząc na ilość książek.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Musi pasować. I pasuje.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Czekaj. No to jest chyba najmłodszej.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
10 lat. Patrz.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Zapisywanie.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
O, Molly miała ciekawe zainteresowania. Jak cięcie razy gwiazdy. Wytrzymanie takich rzeczy w
I
słoika.
got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors. Being
Brawo.
inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
No,
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
okej. O, chomiczek uciekł. Chociaż on przeżył ze wszystkich zwierzaków, które ona miała.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
No.
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Bez kolacji, serio.
I kept eating and eating.
Masa zębów nie jest zbyt zdrowa.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
W szczególności
It was a
tego...
barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
No to nie jest złota pasta. Niezłe typy. Daję. Nie.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
A, skoro nie spojrzeli na ciebie, skoro są manekinami. Chodź tu.
I
Strasznie
jumped
głupia.
and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Jeden się zawiesił tam na dole. Chodź tu!
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed
Ow.
him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Miam, miam.
A mama rabbit.
Ach, się zawiesiło. A! A! Znowu się zawiesiła. Chodź tu. A!
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
No takiego typa to jeszcze nie słyszałem, żeby ktoś miał. A! Aż mi się przypomina ten jakiś z Ikei.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
No.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Jak samoloty kurde w BF-ie. To się... A! Mam cię, poczko.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Czuję krew. A! Chodź tu.
Done tight. When I was
Ow.
so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Poznaję tą maskę. To Mati.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Szanty. Niech ktoś zawoła. Here. Ja cię zaśpiewam. A
The
to...
last passenger, I was still hungry. Across the water, I saw something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
To this?
I
Aż
got
do...
closer and closer.
Aż do twojego pokoju.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
To przez tą pastę pewnie miała ten... Fluę,
This would be
zbyt
obvious
fluowo.
later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
A do dziadków. Chodzimy.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Jak to coś jeszcze... O,
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
o. I
Edie
nie
knit me a
skończ.
new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Her room was like a museum.
To coś jeszcze
I
jest?
hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
My friend Bigfoot. Random Jack. From museum. Ugh. Nie.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Aha.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
YouTube.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Dobra. Teraz jak przejść dalej? Tędy nie przejdę. Przez okno to się nie.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Yeah! Uj! Dywan w łazience. To jest takie obrzydliwe. O, antydepresanty.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
O! Nie, ja chcę sprawdzić.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
No. Dziadek lubił fotografię, ale zrobił selfie sobie.
Then gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Jego ciemnia. Zakładam. Łóżki po piwie, butelki, po winie. Zapisywanie. Poet Sam. Poet Calvin.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Nie, marzenie każ...
I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. And maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Zrobić 360 w kształcie, to było marzenie każdego.
That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he
I
met his tiny fly. And he did.
kurde, kto normalny robi stawkę nad krawędzią przepaści?
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Dobra,
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
mamy? Kurde, sprytnie. Jeszcze musimy iść do drugiego dziadka. Jeden chciał być astronautą, drugi chciał być żołnierzem. O. Dobra. O drugim dziadku się nie dowiemy? Tutaj? Nie? Okej.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Kurde. Dobra, tędy mogę wyjść, ale najpierw pójdziemy do... My friend Bigfoot. O, to było...
I
dość...
never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family.
Fajne naklejki po prawej.
The surprise ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
O, muzyka z Halloween.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
A, fajna stylistyka to jest nawet. O! Jebut! Nie po krzesełku. Mam większą zabawę tutaj niż przez większość gry. wychodzimy.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Mhm.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Lubię gdzie iść.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Ciekawe, czy dalej tu są ślady krwi. Dobra. A. Działa. Zapisywanie.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
No w sumie... No. Smok. Tutaj nie przewidział, że akurat ona będzie prawie ostatnia w tej rodziny.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Ciemno tu, nic nie widać. O.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories...
O, ktoś tutaj akurat był gotowy na apokalipsę.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Ło! Ten tu przeszedł dość długo.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
O. Otwiera się.
Living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Jeszcze
If you
nie
wait long enough, you get used to anything.
I czemu się tak trzęsie wszystko? Aj. Nie możesz kuźwa tego otwierać normalnie.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
Kurwa. To nie ta muzyka.
Almost friendly. everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe you got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Kurwa. Nie masz siły tego otwierać, kuźwa. I się zadławi.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Nie przejrzałem się temu wszystkiemu. Ale dobra.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Aha. Przez 30 lat po prostu tu siedział.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Pokaż mi, co ja tam jest. Sztuczne kwiaty, sztuczne widoki. Ach.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Nie, fuj.
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
Gówno widać.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else.
Loli, dzięki za followa. Cześć, co tam u ciebie?
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Czy jesteśmy na S? No, no. Chcecie się wszystkich oglądać?
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Kurde, coś na podglądzie co jakiś czas mi ścina ten.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
A,
But I thought you should know about your family.
nie no spoko. Kupię się na wielu rzeczach naraz, no to...
And the history you're a part of.
Hołpa.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Ja mogę iść tędy. Tam jest pewnie ten... Nie, dobra, pójdę w tą stronę. No kurde, mogli chyba chociaż jedną ścieżkę zrobić, a nie.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but
Kurde, to jest koniec chyba. Nie, to idę w drugą stronę. Wiem, że coś mnie jeszcze czeka. Gdzieś. No mamy co najwyżej, mamy jeszcze tak. Diego, Sama, Gregory, Gus, Down, Lewis, Milton i Eddie. No, ostatnia. No idę. Myślałem, że mnie zablokowało. Wiem, że tam na pewno jest gdzieś tam koniec, więc tam nie idę. No tak musi wolno iść. Przejść się tym nie da? Nie. Coś przegapiłem? To razu. No tak, został nam jeszcze właśnie drugi dziadek, ojciec, matka. Tak. No to został nam drugi dziadek, babcia. Kawacia. No trochę osób nam tu zostało. Szybciej nie możesz iść.
The pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Oliwie, Bob, Latis, Shadow, Christopher. Wait do Pioneer, Lucy, Daisy, Barry, Sharpie, Harpy. Na pewno tu gdzieś imiona pewnie ten.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Nie lubię strasznie
I'm
cmentarzy.
sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Gary Fisher, Bruce Fisher, Sam Fisher.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Były żołnierz.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Paragraf, żołnierz.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Lubi zwierzęta ewidentnie też. Odwiano scenę. Nigdy nie wykorzystane. O. Szpak 12. Cześć. Ok. Przepraszam. Niezłą tam konwersację macie. Szpok i Doli. Zobaczmy co tam sam.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? What? Am I gonna have to shoot me?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Ja tu tylko będę komentował sobie po prostu gierkę. Nic szczególnego.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
No. O.
Aw.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey! That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Nie wiem. Ryby.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip.
O.
Good eyes, Dawn.
O.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive...
Odłóż to, spluwa, chcę zrobić ładne zdjęcie bez... Dobra. Uj. No jak...
Keep yourself squared up, elbows down, like we practiced. Whenever you're ready. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Okay.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
O. Uuu.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Yikes. Tak, muszla. Idę w jedną stronę. Micha. Jakiś stary telewizor. Będę nie wyjdę, oczywiście. Prowizoryczne kamniki. Będę... To jest okno? Nie. To jest to okno? Nie. A Toyota? W rzeczywistości był twoja rodzina pochodzi z Fin. W Finlandii. A, tutaj. Jad. Ktoś czyścił w ogóle to...
After Sam died,
Nie ma?
my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Mieć kontrolę. Pac-Man. Okay. Goose, down.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
Down. Słeptasz. Wrzuć śmieci. Goose, o. No weird. Jak Via Baby. Ale spinaczka. No, matka naszej protagonistki chyba raczej dzieciństwa nie miała. Dobra.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Time to. Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Sam.
Smutna. Trochę. Dobra. Gus. Mały rebeliant.
Who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Ja się bawię w młodości latawcami.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Jaki głos. Rebeliant, kuźwa. Najpierw było dziecko w wannie, a teraz mały punk.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Jakie paskudstwo. Dopiero teraz zauważyłem.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
No, młody to lubił pewne. No, punk to z niego był. Prawie. Gdyby nie miłość do
My mom
latawców.
moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
A, jej mała przestrzeń.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Komputer? Jaki style. Wow. Indie. Biblia. I chuj, będę musiał chodzić z powrotem. Myślałem, że coś powie. Właśnie z powrotem. Dobra, powiedz coś o tym.
Thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Ale przynajmniej nie dotknęliśmy Biblii. To jest
My
plus.
mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Napięty niżej nie zejdę. Czy znowu ktoś zaginął?
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
Fajne ma te
The
ręce,
house had to get a
więc
little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
rękawy. Jest tu coś ciekawego? No. Nie, okej.
And for a while, things were
Mieciu
good,
grzebki, inaczej ten
almost normal.
rękawiczki. Great job. Awesome. Jedynki za chód.
But it didn't last.
O, jaki laptop. To teach and to learn. Down feature. Piszaj. Feature. Kurwa. Nieważne.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
To ten jeszcze żyje? Czyżby też gdzieś gdzieś leży, nie żyje. Nie wiadomo gdzie. I zaś. Jak to? Policja, open up. Ciekawy styl.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Nie architekta. Fajny pokój. Mały, ale własny. Co my tu mamy? Tutaj zapewne do książki. Jeszcze nie.
Milton Finch Inn, the magic paintbrush.
Magiczny pędzel.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Zapisywanie.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Pewnie gdzieś leży
Whatever
ten.
Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Dom pełen tajemnic.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
No, ten to akurat miał ciekawy ten styl w pokoju. To się co jeszcze nie zawaliło. No, Louis miał ciekawe zajęcia. Poza...
room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Cisza, te konsola do gier.
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Ale Ciwik to miał niezłe. Na pewno miał pająka, znając takiego. Jeszcze jego ten... rzeczy. Tutaj 2 monitory. Nice. Puszki pełnego i antydepresantach. Ty, jakie zajebiste sławki. No widać, że pokój prawdziwego gracza. Wiadomo, co lubił.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Yep.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
No, fajnie.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Czekajcie, wiem, że ten nas muszę robić. Trochę.
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Whoa.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
To miał nawalone w głowie. Co?
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Miłego, no oczywiście.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Kurde, tak głęboko
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Też, że nic nie mówię, ale skupiony jestem.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Nie wyrabiam się.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
O.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
No, to nieźle miał z psychą.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Uj, spokojnie.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
To trochę to już trwa taka.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Molly. Kot. No ta uwielbiała konserwę.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
O, fajna korona w kształcie gilotyn.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Dobra, to na razie dali.
My brother was really cool. I wish you
Dark
had met him.
Lord 0924. Witaj. Dobra, to z rodziny został Down i Eddie.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Jedna osoba nam została, kuźwa. Wszystko było dobrze, ale... Jeszcze nasza matka. Nie, no... Zjebałem.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Nasze nie... Piotr nisko nie umie jeść pałeczkami.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Rękawica, no, normalnie.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
To było, że na chuj się tam wpierdalałeś.
wandered. I started seeing things.
No.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
Oh.
The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
O. Najgorzej jak dziadkowie umierają.
We both tried to make the best of it.
Uuu.
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone.
Było nie palić.
The last Finch left alive.
Ostatnia z gliny Finchów.
Until I found out about you.
Aż dowiedziałem się. A w wieku
I'm
17
still
lat.
not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Nie pisze. Pinczaj. O, no to było na tyle. Historia rodziny Finchów. Oczywiście cisza. Jakim czas? Napisy no, kiedyś raczej nie będą trwać długo. Sorry. Ile tam ten młody z nowych Fincher to musiał mieć lat, żeby no, mieć tyle wzrostu. No dobra. No już jak na razie będzie koniec. Dzięki wszystkim, co przybyli. Dzięki Doli. Shopper 12. Dark Lord. Dzięki. I do następnego.